marketers are confident that Nigerians will begin to heave a sigh of relief soon with lower prices of petrol owing to the renewal of the Naira-For-Crude deal by the federal government. They are also confident that a major player in the sector, Dangote Refinery, will consider lowering its petrol loading costs by the end of this week, further contributing to the reduction in fuel prices. National Publicity Secretary of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Chinedu Ukadike, reassured the public of the forthcoming price drop while commenting on the Federal Executive Council's directive regarding the Naira-For-Crude agreement. Meanwhile, amid a growing global trade war and recession fears, crude oil prices dropped for the fourth straight trading day last Tuesday, reaching lowest levels in 4 years. Now that U.S. President Donald Trump's broad reciprocal tariffs have taken effect, China, the biggest oil importer in the world, is subject to import penalties of 145%. Brent oil futures are falling more than 19% to $60 per barrel since Trump announced the new taxes. And West Texas intermediate futures are falling 20% to about $57 per barrel, both of which are their lowest levels since March 2021. In a related development, U.S. investment bank J.P. Morgan has advised investors to exit long positions in Nigerian open market operation bills, warning that global risks driven by falling oil prices and renewed trade tensions could deepen Nigeria's macroeconomic vulnerabilities. Now, this is contained in a research note dated April 2025, Frontier Markets, Market Strategy Reducing Risk Further. Now I have Mr. Dan Kunle with me, and for his thoughts on all of that. He is an energy and public policy expert, and he's going to help us unpack these issues. Mr. Kunle, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abati.
Good to have you back.
Yeah, it's quite...
okay, let's start with Naira-For-Crude.
Yeah.
These had caused problems. In July, I think, 2024, the Federal Executive Council decided on that. But in the last few months, we had issues that the federal government was not, pursuing that. And then last Wednesday, the same Federal Executive Council and a technical committee of the federal government said, oh, Naira-For-Crude is back on the table and it should take effect, and that, crude should be provided on a Naira basis to all the refineries, Dangote, Wilson Smith, Watersmith, that's what they are called, Watersmith, in Owerri, and all the others, Edo Refinery, and other partners. So the petrol marketers are saying, oh, this is good. This is going to reduce the pump price of fuel. Is it given? We, the ordinary people of Nigeria, would like to buy fuel at a lower price at the pump stations. Is it given? Is it a good development?
Yeah, very good. Congratulations to the president for reaffirming that Federal Executive Council decision. Very good. I was monitoring Kunle, even though I was outside, but I was monitoring Kunle because you remember that program started effectively October, and it was to be for the first 6 months, terminating March 30th or March 31st. And you will recall that it was a decision that was welcomed by everybody, that it will bring some relief because of the pressure on dollar. And because you have big player locally that could refine so much. So we felt that we give some margin to the customers, because that saving margin will reflect across the petrol stations in Nigeria. So when the rumor came that maybe federal government and NNPC was going to stop it, or they used the word, they said they were doing further review of the program. And then people got very skeptical, and the Nigerian people were not very happy. I could see it from comment on mainstream media and social media. And at a point, I think I think it was the chairman of Federal Inland Revenue, Zach. I think he's a member of the technical committee. And he came to intervene at a point that, no,
That's
please,
Dr.
we were...
Zach
Adedeji, yes,
That's
I
his
think
name.
he intervened, yes. He intervened. And I was very impressed when he intervened. So that message was really a reflection of the thinking of the president. I believe so. So, and then finally, when it was confirmed a few days back that the federal government have said it's a continuous program, it just aligned with the thought of some of us who knows that the industry requires massaging and day-to-day alignment and realignment. So it's good. It has helped the image of the government that at least they are consistent. And this is what I have been saying. Whenever President Tinubu does well, any president for that matter in this country, we should say it. When he's not doing well, we should say it, but we should say it rationally, objectively. And that's what I've been trying to do. I think this policy is good. Let's see for whatever it is worth. Let's pursue it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Kunle, I understand this. Naira-For-Crude. Okay. Optimism and all of that. But the major issue has been the availability of crude. Where will the crude come from? Because we have been hearing, with regard to Dangote Refinery, for example, that Dangote Refinery has had to import crude oil from elsewhere. Who is going to make that crude supply possible?
Yeah, Dr. Abati, you know, this is a technical issue. And it's a political issue. The political will for President Tinubu to even that this question will lead me to something very fundamental in this country. You know, the decision for President Tinubu to do away with the former management led by Mele Kyari was a very serious decision. We have to congratulate the president for taking that decision. It was a big decision. And you can see on this desk, I have been insisting that the competency level in that place was doubtful and have been proven right. And we are waiting now to see what BBO will do. I want to see what the new chief executive, what they will do with the situation in NNPC. So, because if you are to produce enough crude to meet OPEC quota and you are to give crude to your domestic refineries, it's not a tea party. Because at the moment, your daily production is almost 1.6, 1.7 million barrels, even with the condensate. So the decision to put a new management in NNPC to see how we can improve the capacity to bring out more crude from the ground. I did a memo, maybe you read an article I did while I was outside, on congratulating the president for the decision to remove the management of NNPC. Because the decision to produce more crude is a technical decision, financial decision, and managerial decision.
Okay,
so the supply of crude as it is today is subject to a lot of issues.
Okay, but I have a slightly different opinion.
Okay.
I mean, I've been consistent, on this platform in saying that, look, the problem with NNPCL is not Mele Kyari. If anything, I've read the, commentaries. I've also myself commended Mele Kyari for what he did. You have the Komane project, you have the AKK project, you have the New Frontier business under him. For the first time in 25 years, under Mele Kyari, there was an audited report of the accounts of the NNPC. And it was somebody who came from within the system and who understood the system very well. And then above all of this, he had completed more or less his tenure. So to say, Mele Kyari was the one who was not supplying crude oil. Some people think that, in fact, Mele Kyari's tenure was the golden era of the NNPC in recent memory. And after all, he was the one who even began the process of trying to fix the refineries. But we may disagree on what he has done. But how about this new board led by Bayo Ojulari and Kida?
Dr. Abati, you are a public opinion molder in Nigeria. You are an intellectual. But at times, you people don't know details of some of these projects. We are not here to subject the personality of Mele Kyari to conversation. We are here maybe to look at the leadership quality that ran NNPC in the last 7 years. That is, so it is the details of some of those projects you are mentioning now. If I tell you, you will be shocked. Some of them are just white elephant projects. Kolomani, okay, bring out the crude from Kolomani. Where is the investment that we go to Kolomani in Bauchi to bring out the crude oil from Bauchi and the gas? Where is the investment? What I'm going to plead with the President Tinubu should not interfere in the way that the new management of NNPC is going to run. The new management of NNPC should bring out a forensic audit of all these projects you have mentioned. Dr. Abati, you will be embarrassed. AKK at $2.8 billion, AKK, a project of 680 kilometers thereabout, gas pipeline, at $2.8 billion, Dr. Abati. That project, if you bring external forensic auditor to check it, $1.4 billion will do that project, dollars. And today, where is the status of that project? So what is paining some of us when we are talking with some of you is that the technical details and the level of ineptitude and deficiencies in the system and the gross mismanagement in the system, when you are exposed to it, you will not have the same view you are having. Okay, so let us go back to the new management. The new management of LMPC. Yeah. So they will do exactly. They will do good for us to show us the status.
Do they have the political skills?
They will derive it.
To navigate.
They will derive it. Musa Kida will learn it. They will derive it. We must give it to that team. The president has done a good job for putting that team. And we should give them chance in this country. Let's give them chance. Let us monitor them and give them chance to perform. Because they have the skill, they have the right configuration. I can tell you.
About their relationship with the regulators. Because for the first time, we have a board that appears to be more competent than the regulators.
No, the regulator will align. They have to align. And if they fail to align quickly with the reality on ground, then it could be very dangerous for them. The two regulators have to align, the midstream, downstream, and the upstream. They need to align. Maybe they need to juggle among themselves and align with this new team. Because the new player in the marketplace now are very strong. That is NNPC, then Renaissance, and Seplat. These are the three big new players, along with the international oil companies that are now going to be left in the offshore. So, and that even gives me some assurance that there will be crude in the next maybe 6 months. There will be additional crude coming to the marketplace. So that may help Dangote. And that is why government must encourage Dangote, as they are doing now, to continue to feed Dangote with crude in Naira, even though it's not too good for Dangote refinery, because he will still need to convert that Naira to dollar to pay for most of his outstanding liabilities in dollars. But I believe that the regulators will align. They have to sit up and align with the new operators.
Let's talk about the international oil market. Oil futures, Brent futures, WTI futures, they're down. $60, $57. The benchmark for Nigeria in the budget for 2025 is $75 per barrel. And now the thing is down to $60. And JP Morgan is saying that we could have a balance of account issues. Even if the central bank has told us that, balance of current account payments, we are doing very well, better than we did in 2022, 2023. What should Nigeria do to address these headwinds?
Dr. Abati, as we are talking here now, this morning, when I opened this day, I saw our madam in WTO. The Chinese said, look, get ready. The developing countries are heading for a very tough time. Dr. Abati, this country is on ground zero. You say, I'm careful, I don't know how to put it so as not to create too much panic in the marketplace. But the message I'm going to send to the president here through this medium and the people around him is that they should encourage the president to declare economic emergency session for this country. That's that time frame within which this country can reevaluate her domestic capacity to produce anything competitively. Because as it is now, with all those things you just quoted from JP Morgan, from what President Trump has done now, this country today, we're on ground zero. With 1.6 million barrels per day, we're on ground zero with 220 million people. So what we need now is that if this regime of Trump continue like this for the next 6 months, 1 year, I'm sorry for the state of Nigeria. Naira may go to about 2,000 and above to $1. Because our domestic production capacity of anything, the mainstay of Nigeria was agriculture. Today we are food importer. The next mainstay of Nigeria is oil and gas. Today we are in deficit. We are not producing enough oil. We are not producing enough gas. And for that reason, I believe that our current situation warrants that the president should summon all the corporate leaders in Nigeria, the banks, and say, look, we need to develop a frame for the next 5 years that we transit this country from this zero level to agricultural production and oil and gas production. Because we are lucky Dangote has already put something very serious on ground that we can anchor on to jumpstart this economy again. But as it is today, Dr. Abati, this country, we are on ground zero. Anybody who is painting some rosy pictures for us in Abuja or somewhere else is just being diplomatic. Okay. May I put it plump and plain that this country today, we're on ground zero. We have no capacity to withstand any further pressure from the international arena. So we need to encourage the president. When he returns from his trip, he needs to call all the economic managers of Nigeria, all the banks, all the manufacturers. The Manufacturer Association of Nigeria, they know what I'm talking about. They're on ground zero.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we begin to wrap up, I just would like to have your comment on Donald Trump. And this is tariffs. This, tantrums that he keeps taking. Today, he will say tariffs. Tomorrow, he will say we are pausing. Next tomorrow, he will say there will be more tariffs. The implications for global trade, and particularly for Africa.
Dr. Abati, I'm close enough to China than even America. The Chinese have built an economy that is very robust. And that economy of China was built on cultural evolution. It was not built out of just cut and paste. It was a cultural evolution that you see that emerged in China today. So for the last 40 years, the Chinese have been building capacity at home. And they have built capacity so much now that they have access to take to any part of the world. So what Trump is doing in America was, Trump was trying to catch the train that has already left the railway station. That is the way I will phrase it. President Trump realized too late that America was already in trouble. America suffered complacency. They believed they were on top of the world, which true. Scientifically, they were on top of the world. Defense, they were on top of the world. Food production and technology, they were on top of the world. But in the last 10 years, China has surpassed them. When I go to China every year. The super railway system, the highways you see in China, you will not believe it. From a city called Chongqing, you can enter train, put your container from there to Germany, to the city of London. So now, now going back to us, going back to Nigeria, yes, Nigeria now have to sit down and say, how are we going to realign ourselves with this reality? Because when the two elephants fight, the grass suffers. If China and America are at loggerhead today, where does Nigeria pitch its tent? That is why I say we need to realign ourselves, reevaluate ourselves. We need to encourage the president to summon a summit And we need to, we're at a crossroad. We're at a crossroad. We're at a crossroad, doctor. It's not good for us to look so pessimistic, but we're at a crossroad. You will see what will happen in the next 1 month, 2 months.
On that note, Mr.
Kunle,
I would like to thank you very much for joining us on This Day Live, the Sunday Talk Show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.